Hello, this is Fisherman's Village Broadcast Happy Hour. My name is Eva Walker, and we are here at Shack Art Center in downtown Everett. And this is brought to you by Tito's Vodka and Elysian Brewing. And I'm here with Fretland. Hello, Fretland.
Hey.
Hello. How are you all doing?
Good.
Yeah. Awesome. So I just want to start with before, because obviously we're going to have the talk about this year. But let's talk about everything before that. How was, well, not everything, but how was your 2019 year? Well, how was your life before all of this?
Pre-2020. That'll be like in the history books. Pre-2020, life was full of promise.
BC, we're going back to before COVID.
Yeah. 2019 was a really exciting year for us. We felt like, we had some good traction on the first singles that we had released, and Long Hauls, obviously, probably the one that we hear the most about, people loving it, and it's taken on a new animal and a new meaning, so that's been really cool. We're all in this together, so and then looking forward to May, little did we know, so
yeah.
It's like we've been on 2019 was like a roller coaster, and it's just like going up and up and up and up, and then we just have been stuck.
Yeah,
up here. We've been
stop working. It didn't even like do this.
Like,
just
is anyone there? So yeah, 2020 has just been up there, but
yeah.
I mean, it was a nice build up to this.
Yeah. How was the you guys went on a tour late January, early February. How was that?
That was awesome. It was like it was my first tour. It was
My first tour.
your first tour.
It was also my first.
It was our first tour.
Our first tour, yeah.
And it was, it was cold and rainy, and we were like sometimes like snow and sleet.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. Had a lot of sold out rooms.
Yeah.
And that was a very warm welcome.
Did you guys tour with anyone in particular that came with you?
Nope.
Just us.
Nope.
Yeah.
And where did you guys go?
We did Oregon, we did Portland, and we went to this place called Coos Bay that none of us had been to that we
Coos
liked.
What's it called?
It's called Coos Bay.
Oh.
And it's just
Yeah,
a small
never heard
town,
of it.
but they were really nice. And they
Seven
just,
Devils.
Yeah, it was this brewing company, and they were just really sweet. Bend and Boise and
LA.
oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
That's totally right. Yeah,
Yeah, it was awesome.
and San Francisco, because I'm from LA, he's from San Francisco, and we both played our hometowns, and that was really cool because I never. It was like the opportunity to bring the band for the first time down to like my community, and that was really fun. So I'm sure for you the same thing.
It was really fun.
And was this to kind of like hype the debut album that came out in May? And did you plan on touring again? Was that originally the plan? May 2020, record comes out. Yeah, we're gonna tour again.
Oh yeah.
And
I think I held on. We also had like a European tour for like 5 weeks, like right leading up, which honestly would have been insane to like lead up to a record release. But I know that we were like, before like all the borders got shut down,
yeah,
I was like holding on hope. I was like, they'll stay open. We can still go. It was that weird, like very hopeful, like we were in COVID. We did not know what it was in store for us.
yeah.
So
That's how I felt about South by. I was like, we're still gonna go. We're gonna go. It was gonna be our first time going
Yeah.
there.
For sure. I know.
Totally.
So, that hasn't happened. So Hillary, I read something interesting, and that was that your mother had a band, and you used to go to her performances when you were little.
Mhm.
And I was just curious, because that's amazing.
It is amazing, yeah.
I was curious, watching your mother perform at a young age, has that at all influenced your stage performance with the band? Or just in general, even if it's just you solo.
I wonder how she'll think of me answering this question. I hope so. She was always very much herself on stage, so I think.
Did you borrow anything from her that she used to do?
I am like a mini her, so like I borrow a lot from her. Her cackle, like kind of the way that she kind of, I don't know, talks about a song. She's a very earnest songwriter. I always wanted to respect, but also like engage the crowd and just kind of know her audience. So
Yeah.
I try and do that as well as I can.
And I'm assuming she's been to your show. Has she ever done the mom like, well, this is what I would have done?
Oh yeah. I mean, she's always got a couple notes for me, and I appreciate it. Like just the other day, we were talking about the new album. She goes, "So is it mastered yet?" And I'm like, "Yes." And she was like, "Well, if you just go back and like change this," I'm like, "Thanks. Yeah, it's okay. It's already done. It's done. It's set in stone. But I'll keep that in mind."
That's super cool because my mom will sometimes do backup vocals with my band, which is
heck
super
yeah.
fun. But there's not a lot of songs, a couple songs where there's some 4-letter words, whatever, and she'll literally be back here on the stage and I'm about to sing. I think it's the song Mr. Pink, and there's the S word in it, and I'm about to say it, and then you can hear her go, "There's kids here, don't say it." And I'm just like, Mom,
Be cool.
come on. And I mean, she's great. I'm glad you're part of my punk band, Mom. I love you. But there's some times where she'll be like, "Oh, I don't really like that song." I'm like, well, it's written and it's done, and we gotta perform it.
Yeah.
But I like that family connection that you have.
Yeah.
And
It's special.
I love moms.
Yeah.
Moms are awesome.
For sure. And we get so much from our mothers, and I think it's cool that we've gotten our like musical passion.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Have you performed with your mom or written music with your mom?
No, it's actually something we've been talking more about. She has been like really focused on work for a long time, but she started playing her guitar again. So we've been every time we have like dinner, we'll just break out all the guitars and
That's awesome.
and jam together. So
oh my gosh, do that and send it to me.
It's on the horizon.
That's awesome.
I'm excited for it.
Do you guys have musical parents or grandparents or?
Yeah, my parents actually met. My dad was looking for a singer, and my mom was looking for a band, and that was actually how my parents met. And
Nice.
And then they went to go see Alice in Chains, and they got sold a fake ticket, and then so they went home, and then 9 months later.
I didn't know that.
You were a product of a bad Alice in Chains ticket.
Exactly.
Wow.
For one time, I'm grateful for scalping, but it's the only time I made it. So, yeah, but definitely, and I saw my parents, do recordings and things, and my mom like made an EP, and so I grew up kind of around that, and it just definitely inspired me and made me feel like, oh, I can do this, and I can really pursue this, and it's safe, and it's okay, and they're not looking at me thinking, oh, you should get a real job, but they're like, no, like we really believe in this, so that was great, yeah.
That is such a, as a non-religious person, a blessing for parents to be so like, you love doing this thing, go do it.
Mhm.
Like
Totally.
my family, they've all got master's degrees and were in education and engineers. I dropped out of college, like, start a punk band. They were all like, "Are you happy? Then good." I was like, "Yes, like score."
Like this
You
isn't
know?
good for my punk angst. You're like too like accepting of me
So,
right
I'm like
now.
looking for
Rebel
things to
against.
rebel
Yeah,
against,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that is always like a bonus, you know,
Yeah.
when your parents support that. What style of music do your parents?
My parents, it was kind of like, my mom, do you know like Horde Festival, like Indigo Girls, like real like late 90s, early 2000, like strong female singers. I feel like your mom honestly was not unlike my mom too.
No.
Kind of that real Alanis Morissette
Nice.
kind of era. And so my dad would play guitar for her, and my mom was kind of that feisty, like early 90s or late 90s, early. I'm so focused on the era. I don't want to I'm going to upset music people out there.
95
They're gonna be
to
like, they're gonna be like,
97.
that wasn't the era. It was late 80s. And I'm like, oh no. So, yeah. If that rings true. So, Lilith Fair. That was what I was going for. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Anyway, I'm done.
Musical family members?
No, I come from a family of like sportsy people, and I think about 7th grade is when I started to fall behind on the sports. And at the same time, my uncle, out of the blue, sent me an electric guitar for Christmas. So
Nice.
Kind of just was on the decline, and then something else came along.
Nice. There you go. Just a little
Yeah.
push.
A little push, yeah.
So, do you guys remember your last show you played to a crowd before COVID?
I think it would have been the end of the tour,
great, yeah.
which was Boise. Yeah. It was at a
Oh, wow.
country.
Was that February even?
Yeah. Right? It was like the end of, because we came off tour, immediately went in to record our upcoming album. But I think that this show, it was at a country bar, the Ranch Club.
The Ranch Club.
In Boise, Idaho.
It was like our first marquee.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We saw it.
It was like
nice.
We were like, "Aw, we're on a sign."
And we bartered a bass amp with there was an opening band, and we were like, "Oh, we like your bass amp. Ours is too big. Can we let's trade?" So that happened, and then that night we all slept on the floor, side by side, and I feel like it was a great end of the tour.
Aw.
You know what I mean? So
When you think back on that now and not knowing that this would happen, like how do you feel about that? Like the crowd performance and all that.
Really grateful.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Like, I think if we had to miss out on a whole year's worth of tour, not that we have any idea when tour will be a thing again, but definitely really grateful to have that experience.
Yeah, it was awesome.
At least as small as it was.
I mean, doesn't it feel like ages ago?
It really did.
Yeah, and then it's October in 2 weeks, even though it's October now, as you're watching this. I knew I would do that.
The Matrix is
So
collapsing.
So how are you all getting through right now? As a band or individually?
Getting through.
You're not.
No, I know. I'm like, okay. Yes, I think I am.
Yeah, or not getting through. Like just hanging on by a thread.
Man, how are we getting through? I feel like, I mean, summer in Washington is like one thing. It's like, okay, I can be here, I can be in my lawn or whatever, and we'll see. Now that it's getting cold and social distancing is harder, I'm buckling up. But I don't know. We see each other, we hang,
we were living together all summer long, and now they're living together.
We're just creating a little huddle so that we all, just keep that connection.
Keep
Yeah.
music going.
Have you guys felt more creative, less creative? I know that's different for artists. There's some people who are, and I've had this conversation, I feel like all week. There's some artists who are like, people are expecting a great 2021 record because of all this, but I'm not really feeling very inspired. And then there's people that are like, yeah, because now we can just stay home and spend more time together versus just touring and working on what we got. We're able to just create more. And so there's these opposites, and I'm sure there's some in between on that. But how do you guys feel about that? Or what's your experience?
Yeah.
Creativity wise.
I feel like just for myself, with everything that kind of is being exposed in our society, and it's given me a lot to think about and read about, and definitely do some work internally, which always is good for songwriting. I mean, that's songwriting 101 is what are you processing? How are you? Mm-hmm. How do you as an individual process trauma or love or friendship or joy? And I think the interesting part for me has been, because it has been so spread, where there's social injustice or there's just loneliness, or for the people that are still trying to find someone to take care of them and to care for, it's everything is so heightened all at once across so many chasms of our psyche. It's when I try and write a song, I have 8 songs right now, but they're all 20% done. And anytime I try and focus on one, it's my brain can't let go of all these other ideas and things that have just been hurting my heart, I guess.
Yeah.
So that I can focus. So not that that's gonna stop happening anytime soon. I really hope I can finish something. But that's how it feels.
And that kind of 20% of starting something, has that mostly been since all this has started? Because that's the story of my life. I can't finish anything. Because I'm just I don't like it anymore. Next thing.
Yeah. Definitely it's been in the last few months. So there was some songs early on that I was able to write and feel good about where they're at now. But I think just in the last few months there's been a lot churning in my spirit, and it's wanting to get out, but I think that it's really important to start with that mental health and like start process and make sure that you've processed it so that you can articulate it in a way that is the most meaningful. So
Yeah, for sure. What about you guys? More creative, less creative, kind of?
Yeah, I think, like you said, I think with everything going on and there's so much like collective trauma being uncovered, and I feel like it invites us as individuals to kind of shed skin a little bit and kind of get to this next level where we can really examine ourselves and what's going on. And I know for myself and even in the band, I think in those early stages, you're kind of figuring out like, who are we? What are we wanting to say? What's really important to us? And you're open and you're kind of just like coming on the scene, kind of going like, I don't know yet. Maybe we'll find that out. And I think that this year has been, I know for me and I think for the band, it's been, for as hard as it's been for so many people, it's also been so eye-opening and illuminating to just like so many things about that we want to address, that we want to talk about, that we want to, like conversations we want to engage in, conversations that maybe we wouldn't have engaged in if this hadn't happened and we were just going as we were going a year before. So I think we were, we're even talking because we were wanting to really start more intentionally writing for the next album, and really wanting our theme and focus around it to actually be something where it's kind of our response to all this collective, all that the collective is going through in 2020, and kind of like how do we want to say, how do we want to address certain things? Can we be a part of the healing and can we speak to that? So
sure.
If that makes any sense.
Come on.
Say it again.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I was like,
Just change it a little
I
bit.
have my notes. So.
I mean, yeah, I feel like you guys just hit the nail on the head, but I do feel like there are just a lot of loose ends right now, just in our society and in the whole pandemic, and goodness, we've got this election just looming, and there's just a lot that like is up in the air and nothing has come down yet. And I really feel that internally too, like when you were saying, Hillary, about just there are these things that are like these almost truths or something that are like taking shape, but they haven't like settled yet to like look back on them and try and make something of them through music or through whatever your medium is. So it's a weird space, I feel like, where we just haven't been able to come down from anything yet, but hopefully we will.
Yeah,
soon.
Totally. And with all that, how do you, I feel like this ties into being creative, and then also just going back to talking about the last tour, thinking about the crowd. How have you all dealt with the kind of new virtual streaming world? Have you been doing a lot of streams? Have you been watching a lot of streams? How's that?
Love me.
I know it's been kind of hard. Like, I love to play off the crowd and
Oh yeah.
make jokes and like to hear the laughs come back, and it's instead it's this emptiness. Like, okay. It also kind of humbles you because playing in front of a large crowd, going on tour, and then you start your live stream, and it's like, oh, cool, 23 people are viewing.
Wow, 23, that's
cool.
awesome.
Right? Like,
I wish it
it's
were
humbling.
23.
It's quite humbling, right? So how's this virtual world new setup been for you guys? How are you enjoying it or not enjoying it?
I think that I don't want to knock it, because there's a lot of people that have really been so generous, and they watch every time we do one, and they send us a little gift, every time we do one. So it's like, it's definitely a way to keep some kind of connection and some kind of interaction with our fans that is obviously best for everybody. But yeah, it is really humbling and really strange when you finish a song and you're like, that was it. All right, I'm moving on now. Like that crowd.
You get the generous cameraman in the back who's like,
yeah, exactly. The generous cameraman being myself, where I'm like, good job, me.
Generous cameraman.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's been challenging. It's just not the same. And I think that's all there really is. It's just not the same. You don't get the crowd. You don't get that electricity that happens. And we certainly don't get to like all be together and really rock. So it's been hard.
One positive, but maybe it's just for me, is that like when you're playing live, you get done and you're like, oh my gosh, and the adrenaline's going, and you're like, that was so great. And you for me, I know I gloss over a million mistakes that I made, and it doesn't matter. I mean, the mistakes are the character. It's wonderful. But I feel like the live streams, I like looking back and going like, all right, you could do that at 4 minutes and 35 seconds. You could have done that a little better for next time. So it's been like an opportunity to just like review and be a little bit more
That's a good point.
constructive. And
I never review. I'm like, nope.
No.
I'd
Such a
prefer.
conflicted feeling about it, but yeah, it's almost like watching like tapes of like if you're an NBA player, I feel like, or something. You're like,
I think they do.
oh yeah, 100%.
I'm like, no,
We
it's
don't,
right.
They do.
It's right. I'm right.
They do.
I like how like the person that's coming from the sports family kind of uses
Oh,
that.
yeah.
oh yeah, let me tell you
I
about
like
that.
So is there anything you guys are working on? Is there anything that is coming up in the midst of all this still?
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah, for sure. We're about to drop album 2 this coming spring, so that has been wild.
Yeah.
Must have been wild.
That's album 1.
I know. It's just it's just keeping current with
okay,
times.
okay.
Anyway.
And who did you guys work with on the upcoming one?
Well, both our debut and this last album, Nick Wilbur, Anacortes Unknown Studio. Shout out to him. We love him. We love you.
We love you.
And Trevor Spencer,
Yeah.
who did so Nick did the engineering and then Trevor mixed, and Ed Brooks
On the master.
on the master.
Love it.
On the master
Yeah.
side.
Cool.
So yeah, it's dream team.
That's been our dream team. So two times in a row, and it's been a real. We're super happy and love the team.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. And that's spring of 2021.
Yeah.
Is there a title for it that you want? You don't have to say it if you
Yes.
don't want to.
I don't know. Yes. Can I say it?
But to my way of thinking, yeah.
He's not even paying attention. Yes.
You can bleep it out if we need to. It's just like.
It's called and
Classic. Fretland blunder. Yeah, the album is called Could Have Loved You. It's the title track is our first single. So
awesome.
yeah,
Yay.
for all you sentimental fools out there,
Yeah.
like myself.
Well, thank you, Fretland,
Yeah.
for talking with me. You
Thank
guys,
you.
your performance was amazing.
Thank you.
Love your sound.
Thank you.
Keep going. You don't need me to tell you that, but keep going. This is Fisherman's Village Broadcast Happy Hour. I'm Eva Walker. Check out Fretland's debut album that already is available, and keep an ear out for the 2021 record. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you,
Thank you
Eva.
so much.
Cheers.